Hi there. Let's talk about creativity and how far can we take it. Now, I'm talking about this subject because recently in one of my videos called Summoning Someone Using an Out-of-Body Experience, I've mentioned the thing that you can create a planet full of bunnies. Now, I've used that example because it's simple. A lot of people have limited mind, and I'm just trying to be as plain and as simple as can be. Using watermelons, buses as an example, bunnies, when you can do so much more. I'm just doing it for, let's say, general public who might not have the best understanding or might not have a good idea of how to use their abilities. But to be clear, all of your abilities don't just stop there. And this whole thing with creation and what can you do goes very fast, and it's all up to you. Anything you can think of, you can create. Anything you can imagine, you can manifest when you are out of body. So creating a being, creating an animal, creating a planet, a multiverse, it's all up to you. And we can talk about inside out, all the micro and micro, macro, micro. Uh, Imagine, okay, multiverse, galaxy, full of planets, full of stars and suns and all of that. Amazing. And lots of little beings in there. Now, let's get more strict. Your body. What if you were the galaxy? All of your organs were planets or little, Milky Ways and galaxies and other things. And all of the bacteria would be little living beings in there, trying to live in their habitat. Your gut is a habitat for little bacteria. Your brain is a habitat for some other place. Your heart is a habitat for some other beings. So you are like a multiverse to them. For them, for a bacteria traveling in your body for miles and miles and miles, you are the biggest, greatest thing there is. For us, we're like, what's that atom? No one gives a damn. But we look out there and we have these photos of, the blue dot being a planet Earth in this vast multiverse. Who are we? We are so freaking small. But we never look inside ourselves thinking of how small everything else is in there, So, having that in mind with how vast everything is, how big everything is, because you are big and you can be small, and it all depends on you, the way you perceive it. So, keeping that in mind, the way you can create things goes in all kinds of places. You can create from small little things that will be atom-like, bacteria-like, photon-like, or you can create something big as a planet or a galaxy. And it doesn't stop there. Anything you can imagine, you can create. I'm saying it a lot, but I really need you to dig into it, and not like I really need to. I would like you to keep that idea and just focus on it, because for me, let's say what I did with this whole thing, I can create a lot, and you can create a lot. Everyone can do that. One of the things I did create is a planet, or let's say realm. That would be a better thing to say. A realm full of beings that I created myself. Now, they're humanoid looking, but they're not humans, they're not reptilians, they're not greys. They're looking just humanoid looking, they have tails like lions, they're looking pinkish, they have different faces, they have different arms and stuff, and they look way different from humans, but they're humanoid looking, and it's pretty amazing. So you might see Avatar movie, you might see all kinds of characters in video games or books or fantasies or movies, anything. So whatever character you would see or imagine, hey, that looks pretty nice, I like the design. You like the design, so you can manifest it in the multiverse, in your creation. Now, you don't like that part, you change with something else. And you can create beings inside out. Every single cell, every single layer, muscles, skin, how they look like, their color, their behavior, their habitat, their goals in life, what are they gonna do, and just ability, for me, I created beings out there who have the ability to get out at any point in time, or get out of body. So they're living in the realm, they're free to do whatever they want. They have rules of, loving, creating, but not destroying and killing, unless they have to defend themselves or defend someone they really care about. So, the whole thing, so you can create morals and other kind of ethics and other kinds of things in those beings. And that goes for you, the way you want to create life. So there is their own realm, and I'm just okay, I'm the godlike being, as you and everyone else. So just like Earth was a simulation to see what's gonna happen, they're just simulating our DNA and other things. Yeah, that happened to us as well. We're reptilians, and just if we go expanding this whole thing, if you were to go out of body, and see what's going on out there, we've been experimenting on for years and years and years. And you go into these bases of other alien beings, and what you find is that, like, just like us, experimenting, like not necessarily us, but there are some people here, like scientists, who are like, like they can making those hydras, or like some other beings, or like, I don't remember the right name, but just hybrid beings, just putting that and putting all kinds of things together, just like working on their DNA the way they want it to be, and this is how they create all kinds of beings. So can you do that? And godlike beings do that. Like, we experiment, like, okay, what happens if this? And you can simulate the whole multiverse, the whole timeless of billion years passing, and seeing what happens. So keeping that in mind, you can do anything really, and it depends on how deep you want to go. And you can create all kinds of beings, all kinds of animals, all kinds of planets, anything you can imagine, really. And I'm pushing this because I think if people start creating life, like when it's starting like to think, and it's like good for the humanity, good for like souls like us, as in helpful. They're smart, they're helpful, they will create technology, they will have abilities that will eventually help to free humanity from this trap, if we are in it, So having more beings who are good, who are teaching, who are like have a lot of knowledge and wisdom, and like having them as an example for us would be great. And if there are more good beings on planet Earth, or like all over the multiverse, things would be better. Like, you go out and there are negative people. You don't want to hang out around them. You want to be around someone who's supporting you and who's positive, who's making you laugh. Everyone likes love, or most people likes love. So if you want that, why don't you create it as well? Like, as a possibility. So in this round that I'm creating with all kinds of beings, I'm creating this like humanoid race that I like, just like experimenting, seeing what's gonna happen. So I give them ability to get out of body and like a mission. Go out, explore, do whatever you like, but the knowledge you bring back, try to use it to create a better civilization, to help others around you to just grow and build. And I'm basically like, time is relative, and the whole thing about time is a thing, and we're not gonna touch that much here on this video, but like, they've been living for a few years on my physical body, but for them, like, a few thousand years passed. So now, from that Stone Age that they started with no weapons, no technology, no nothing, it's just like their bodies, and like, they're all the way they are, you can create beings any kind of way, and they're just like, from little chats to each other, from learning how to communicate, from learning how to experience, and like getting out of body fully. And they're not limited, like, they have the main understanding of what it is, and like, I can like go like get out of body and go to that planet and engage with them. Each of them, they have different soul, like each of them have a soul and consciousness, and they're like full living being. And there's the thing, if the body is good enough for, like, if the body, a vessel, is good enough, the soul, the being, the consciousness will come in. So if we have like cyborgs, like these robot bodies that are really good, the soul can come in and reside, and now this cyborg will have a soul and will be conscious. So the same thing, like out there, you can create a pretty good body, and if it's good enough for the soul to come in and like start playing the game, they're gonna come in and play the game. So 2 years passed here on Earth for me, and a few thousand years passed over there. So it was amazing to just go back there in a while and see how they grew. And they're like cities, and they have like floating cities, and nothing like Earth. The technology and everything else is way different and way better than here. The way they created the system is more like something like Venus Project. It's all reusable materials, it's all clean, it's all like ecosystem, like it's all greens, and they're not killing other beings to eat and like have meat and stuff, but they're more like vegetarian, vegan likes. And I wasn't like, it was amazing to see that they didn't need all these rules or like be like Earth humans, like they don't have currency and stuff like that, and they did it all by themselves because like this is their understanding, this is the way they like living life, and everyone's like pretty much like in touch. Everyone is like they can communicate telepathically, they can fly, they can do all kinds of things, and it's just like amazing to see them evolve and grow so much in just like in that period of time. So this is like that little realm, and this is just like a few, like one type of being or I created, but they're like animals and plants, and like this plant will give you like this sort of longevity, and like will feed you, and like all kinds of things. You can create details, all of it, and the way nature's going to react to this and that, all kinds of weathers and stuff. No need for disasters or like whatever you want to create. So I feel like with this whole creation and possibilities, anything you can think of is possible. And whatever you leave out there, the life continues. It's not just your imagination for a second and it's gone. No, whatever you create stays, unless you destroy it or not mock it. So I create this planet, I leave for 2 years, I don't engage, I'm doing my stuff, I come back and check on them, and they're living. And they're still living, all of them are conscious, they all know me. You know, like it's pretty amazing. Same as with going out of body and having like past life experiences. You know, you have a past life body or, you know, just another body who's active right now in the multiverse. You connect to it, and the body has a conscious memory, and the moment you leave, the body continues the journey. But you can come back at any time and remember what happened, have the whole memory, all the relationships, everything that happened, you just have it. A knowingness. It's not like, oh yeah, it's like, you know, you just know. You just get everything. So it's pretty amazing with all the possibilities, and you know, I'm pitching the whole getting out of body because there's a lot to learn and there's a lot of potential for humans to get out and start doing good things out there that will eventually play back and have a really good consequences here on Earth. If we create beings that are helpful, that have that sort of thinking that we would like to have on a system, like, you know, Venus Project or things like that, and eventually they're the ones advancing so far that they come and help us, or people who are here on Earth trapped or like just need help or more education and stuff, they can't do that. So if we create the good stuff, it's gonna pay off. If you create the negative, if you're destroying and stuff like that, well, other things will happen, you know? So it's up to you on what you want to manifest, and just like, again, like this whole timeline things, you know, what I create for myself in my timeline and my realms is gonna be my thing, and I might be the one experiencing it. So I'm just like giving you the opportunities, or like, you know, more like, hey, it's possible. See if you want to try it. Now, I'm not necessarily all right and like this is me and I know everything. No, I'm testing out for myself. Like I'm just like, hey, what's gonna happen if I create this race? I'm like just adding this and that of things I like. What's gonna happen? And I'm just trying to find out for myself. I might not necessarily know everything, but I'm trying and I'm learning and I'm doing it for myself to just like, okay, what's gonna happen if? So I think it would be good if other people did this as well, if they wanted to do this. It's not like I'm forcing anyone. But yeah, these are just like a few of my thoughts. Expanding a little bit on the subject, there's a whole lot more into these details, and like, you know, the whole DNA and what you can do and how you can affect things. And, you know, it's just like, I think it's important to know that whatever you create out there stays, and like it's still like the progress keeps going on. If you create animals and you leave them be on some realm, they're going to be living even while you leave, and you come back to your body, you're doing something, and you can constantly get out of body and check on them, see like what's happening, how's your girl doing or something else. Like, you can create video game world, anime world, movie world, like anything you like. So it's all up to you what you want to do out there. It's all up to you and how much detail you want to go in. Because, you know, we can go as light as like, okay, bus and game, and you can just go in simple as can be for fun, or you can go like really, really get engaged. And if for people who are like, I don't know, into video games, I think it's like, for me it's more easier to relate to that because I've played some video games myself. If you like character creation, you like choosing the hairstyle, all the details of the face, and managing this and that, and whatever you can think of. If you create your character of your dreams, I like, for people who like Sims, you create the personality, and what's gonna happen if. Like, all kinds of things you can imagine in the creation of a being, you can do that. You can go deeper in any way you can. And it's amazing. Like, you can create all kinds of beings that are like really good and amazing, and you know, if you create a good body, the souls, the consciousness will come in there, and it is amazing what happens later. So yeah, this is just a short video just touching the basis on this whole subject. I'm really interested in your thoughts, like what would you do and how detailed you would go? If you were to create your own planet, your own race, your own beings, what would you do? So, you know, just if you want to, please share your thoughts, because I'm really interested in what other people would do if they could do it. And hey, everyone can do it. If you can just like think a thought, you are already creating. Just because you're not out of body doesn't mean that you cannot do that. You can literally just think of a plant and create it, and it's gonna be there. You might not see it because you're not getting out of body. You might not get your consciousness out there yet, but you know, just having a thought and simply creating something, it's gonna be out there. So give it a try if you want to. So yeah, hope this was valuable, hope this was interesting, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.